Hello there, thanks for joining me once again at my bench. And today's tutorial I'm going to tie up quite a different bug for you. It's I simply call it the the rubber leg wiggle nymph, and it has an extended body on it which is attached as you would on an articulated streamer. And I'll take it out of the vise here. You can see that at the back end there has a lot of action. When it's going through the water, it'll really have some good movement to it and a lot of rubber legs sticking out on it. So I thought you might like to see this guy tied up, so I'll get him out of the vise here and a fresh hook in. I'll get started here. Now the first hook I'm using is a size 10 3906B for the rear hook. So we'll get that locked in the vise here. And I'm using UTC 70 black, so we'll start that on. And we're going to wrap back here to the bend of the hook. Get the thread base down, just like so. Snip off the tag end here. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I've got a piece of sort of a brown or more like a gingerish brown colored chennille I'm using for this one. You can tie it just about any colored chennille that you want. And I'm going to attach that in. I peeled some of the fuzz off there. I'm going to attach that in by the threads, just like so. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to move my thread ahead a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is attach the rear legs for this back section of the fly. So I'm going to just simply fold a piece over here, just like so. Tie it on top first with a couple wraps, not too snug so you can pull them down on the side, just like so. And then I'm going to wrap that extra all the way up the shank here, that extra rubber leg material. Actually this is called stretch floss, but it's almost like rubber hackle, almost the same thing. And I'm just going to snip that end of that off there. And we're going to tie all that down, several wraps here, nice and snug, just like so. And we'll stop our thread right there. Now before I begin to wrap this, I'm going to take a little bit of gel super glue, or you can use Zap-A-Gab, whichever you prefer. Put a little bead there on the shank and spread it around. And I'm going to begin to wrap it. I'm going to take one or two wraps behind those legs first, just like so here. Come in and get one or two wraps behind. Then we're going to go in front, make a wrap, just like so. There we go. Okay, that's fine right there. Now just wrap all that forward, cover the shank, keep wrapping up, then we'll tie off once we get to the front here. Getting a little short on my piece of chenille here, so I'm just going to grab it with the hackle pliers. Okay, keep wrapping that up. Alright, then we'll tie that off right there. Lock that down good, just like so. And we'll come in and snip off the excess. Now we'll just build a little head on this rear section here. Just build it up a little bit, just like so. Make sure that's in there nice and tight. Okay, so there's the rear portion of the fly. I'm just going to finish that. Just like so. Snip off the excess. Okay, and I'll give that a little shot of head cement there. All the way around the thread wraps. There we go. Let that soak in good. Now we'll take this portion of the vise and set it aside. And next we'll start the front section, and I have 3906B in a size 8 this time instead of 10, the next size up, and I have a 1/8 inch black bead on the front here, so we'll get that locked in the vise. And I've got, for the weight, I'm using 0.15 lead wire, and I want to get about 10 or 12 wraps behind that bead, so we'll wrap that on. It may end up being a few more, but it doesn't hurt, so may even end up having 20 wraps on it when I'm done here. It's just I want to get lots of weight on this guy. Okay, and there we go, that's plenty. Yeah, I'm just going to slide that lead back for a second here, because I want to, before I put it up into the bead, I like to put a little super glue there. So we'll take another little drop, just like so, and I'll shove that up into the bead. Now locked in there nice and solid. Okay, now we'll start our thread once again, right behind the lead this time. Put a little dam behind that lead, then we'll jump on top, forward, then back down, and the same once again, forward, then back down. Then we're going to come down just about to the barb here and snip off the excess, just like so. Okay, now to attach the rear portion of the fly, I'm using a, you can use 8 to 10 pound monofilament line, like a Maxima for instance. That'll work just fine, but I don't have any, so what I'm using is a piece of articulation wire. This is the smallest I have, and I'm going to use that to attach it. So, but before we do, we're going to take this rear portion of the fly and take a pair of snips, a pair of cutters, because we want to cut that hook section off of it, but be very careful when you do. Just get it real close to the body, because it can fly all over the place. And we're just going to snip that off, just like so. There we go. Now I'm going to attach this wire onto the side, my side here first, till it comes right behind the lead there. Snug that down with lots of wraps, and we'll come back and we'll stop right about there. Now we're going to take the fly, put that through here, just put that up through the eye, just like so. Now what we're going to do is bind the second half of that wire on top of the shank. Just get it in place with a few wraps there. Now I want to pull that, and you want the loop just big enough so you still have movement in the fly, but not too, you don't want it too big. So I'm going to wrap back and see how that will work there. I think I might have it this first time around here. That looks fine. That still will give it lots of movement, so that should work. Okay, now we're going to wrap that up, and I'm going to take my snips once again, come in and snip that wire, just like so here. There we go. Okay, bind that down. Whoops, snap my thread there, hit the wire, no problem. Just reconnect that. That can happen when you're using that wire. I should have pushed that down, I guess. Just bear with me, folks. Just a little malfunction here. Okay. I'll get her going here in a second for you. There we go. Sorry about that. I just nicked that wire there. It's what cut my thread. Okay, now what we're going to do is attach our chennille first, same as we did the rear portion of the fly. Pull off some of that fuzz and bring that back, just like so. Okay. Alrighty, now we're going to attach our first set of legs. So I have another set here, and I'm going to fold those the same way. Make a loop, and I'm going to tie that right on top with a couple wraps first. That way we can adjust, so we pull them down on the sides where I want them, just like so. Alright, a couple more wraps, then we'll Move that thread forward. Okay, now I'll begin to wrap that chenille. But before I do, I'm going to put another little shot of super glue in there. And I'm going to spread that over the thread wraps here. Okay, just like so. There we go. Okay, now we'll begin to wrap that. Just keep make the first couple wraps behind them legs. Just like so. Alrighty, then we'll wrap in front. Just like the rear portion there. Okay, lift up on the front part of the legs. Okay, then we're going to wrap that forward. And we're going to tie that off right there. Okay. A couple more wraps. Alrighty. Snip off the excess. And I'm going to pull that back out of the way for now. But I want to pull that down on the side a little bit more. There we go. Just sort of fold that back out of the way. Now, we'll attach our last set of legs. Same deal. Another piece of this flexi floss here. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold it, bringing it on top, and a couple wraps, and work each leg down on the sides, just like so. And we're going to wrap that down, a couple wraps in front of the legs. And then I'm going to make a whip finish, and then we'll do some trimming on the legs. So I'll bring in my whip finisher, do 4 to 5 turns there. Okay, tie that down, snug it in, nice tight pull, snip off the excess thread. Okay, now we're going to trim some legs here, so we'll fold this guy forward here. We'll trim this front one, and then the next one behind that, so we get our 4 legs. There's how it should look. And I'm going to trim them rear legs a little bit too. They're a little longer than what I want, so I'll trim those. Okay, that's fine for the rear portion. Now I'll trim these guys up a little bit. Don't want them too overly long, so we'll trim each one a bit here. Alrighty, there we are. Another wiggle leg nymph. Extended body wiggle legs, I guess you call it. This fly has lots and lots of action when it's going through the water. Now, I'm not sure how good that is in focus, but I hope you can see that. I'm going to put a little shot of head spin on the head of it here, on the thread wraps. That soak down in is your done deal. Now, just bear with me. I'm going to try to bring my camera in for a little closer look here. There we go. I just wanted to give you a better look at it there. And there's the extended rear section. You can see how much movement that'll have when it's going through the water. Have not lots of, as you can see, lots and lots of wiggle to it there. Pretty cool looking bug. And like I say, you can tie it in an array of different colors. Whatever you feel like you want to try, just give her a go. So once again, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope you can give this guy a tie, give him a try. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you'd like to, hit that good old subscribe button. Appreciate that a whole lot. And until next time, stay safe out there, happy tying, and I shall see you again soon. So long for now, folks.